mine. I don't know why. Okay, right. I've got Enjoy Life Forever with me. Okay, what do you want to look at?
No. You said you've read something, and then you needed to ask me a question about it. You said you read something about war.
Did we look at this last time, or didn't you have the time to look at warfare the last time we spoke?
Yeah, you said you read something and you need to ask questions and you want to know more about it.
Right. Have you prepared? Have you read the chapter, lesson 13, paragraph 2 on warfare, and done some preparation?
No, there's no preparation to do. I'm familiar with the book, so...
So you know all about this chapter, you know the subject in depth. You've done preparation.
Anything you wanted to know about it, any question you wanted to ask about it, this is all we do. We help people, we reason with people. I thought the last
time we spoke, I suggested that you actually prepare by actually reading the chapter, and that you know, because you can't teach someone if you don't know the subject yourself. So I did suggest you actually prepare.
Robert, you told me that you've read the book and you wanted to know for chapter 13. So that's what I'm saying.
All right, I will read it. Lesson 13, paragraph 2 on page 55. False religion does not treat people as Jehovah does. The Bible says that false religion's sins have massed together clear up to heaven. For centuries, religions have meddled in politics, supported wars, and caused or approved the death of countless numbers of people. Some religious leaders enjoy a lavish lifestyle and demand money from their followers to pay for it. These actions prove they do not even know God, yet alone have the right to represent him. So that paragraph seems to be saying that if a religion is in any way meddling in politics, or it in any way supports warfare, then it cannot represent Jehovah God. I mean, have I got this right?
Yeah.
One of the awakes I did, because I do preparation, so I've been on the website jw.org. One of the awakes I did a search for was the awake for the 22nd of April 1993, page 6. And it calls churches that are involved in warfare pawns of Satan the devil. So if a religious organization is involved in warfare in any way, they are pawns of Satan the devil, according to that awake, which is rather strong, but have I understood that correctly?
Yeah, the terms of religion meddling with warfare, because the scripture strictly tells us God does not adorn killing each other. And when you see religion where maybe the Protestants are killing Catholics or Catholics killing other religions, and when two countries are in war, there are different denominations, and then they're killing each other. So in that terms, Jehovah God does not approve of such violence.
Why are Jehovah's Witnesses, why have they been involved in both warfare and politics for over a century? Up to their eyeballs involved in both warfare and politics at the level of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania and New York.
Yeah, we never get involved in war or politics at all.
That's not true. Your own literature says that you have. The Watchtower, November 2016, page 29, paragraph 9, states how Jehovah's Witnesses took part in the First World War.
No, what we meant, when Jehovah's people never took part in war, when we were asked to join in war or volunteer, we don't get involved in war or politics. That's why we don't vote. And over the years, as Bible students, over the years, we've seen that certain things, that's what we did the refinement over the years, that things that Jehovah didn't like, things that we thought is the right way, and we, according to Bible study, if we go to Bible study, we get to realize that no, God does not approve of certain things. When we talk about Christmas celebration,
I'm not interested. Seriously, I'm not interested in Christmas. If I choose one topic, I want to stick to that one topic.
I'm giving you an example.
I don't want examples, because what you've said is just not true, sir. I'm sorry, it's just not a truthful statement. Do you have access to the internet? If you go to jw.org and you look at your literature, Watchtower, November 2016, so it's 9 years ago, page 29, paragraph 9. I'll read it. Not everything the Bible students did during the period between 1914 and 1919 was in harmony with scriptural principles.
Exactly.
Could I read the article? Although they were sincere, the brothers did not always have a proper view of subjection to the secular governments. Therefore, as a group, they were not always neutral with regard to the war effort. For example, when the President of the United States decreed that the May the 30th, 1918 would be set aside as a day of prayer for peace, the Watchtower urged the Bible students to join in the observance. Some brothers purchased bonds to provide financial assistance to the war effort, and a few even went into the trenches with guns and bayonets. So it says that they were not neutral during the First World War in this article.
What that means is, see, that's honesty. What that means is when they were continuing, the Bible students were always refining. So what they thought that would be a support, and they realized that God does not condone those things, they left it. So they're not ashamed to write it down that even supporting or donations that will go towards those things, it's not good. If you not go to war, then you mustn't support it in any form, way, or any shape or form. So that's what is written there.
Sorry, I don't understand you. Could you just say that again? Maybe just make one point.
If you don't go to war, or if you will not go, you literally take the gun and go to war and shoot or join the military. No, when they realize that things like that, even supporting.
So when did they realize this? I mean, you're kind of preaching at me. You're not actually responding to facts or evidence. Your article says that they were not neutral with regard to warfare.
We're not arguing, are we? We're not arguing, please. We're not arguing.
Were they neutral during the First World War? Yes or no?
They were neutral when they realized that those things that God does not condone. The Bible student, as is known, it's a progressive study of the vigorous study of the Bible. So when they do something, people come to study and come to join the Jehovah's people, and then when they realize through their Bible study that certain things are not right, it's like myself. If I realize that something I'm letting the Bible is not in conjunction with what,
please just stick to the topic. The book says.
Are we still supporting war?
Yes, you are today, and you're involved in politics today. But that's a different topic. Could we deal with the First World War before we move on to what you're doing today in supporting warfare today?
Where are we talking in the First World War? We are not in the First World War now. We move far away from that. So going back to talk about First World War will not serve any purpose. Those who
what do you mean? What do you mean it won't serve any? What do you mean when you say talking about the First World War won't serve any purpose? It does serve a purpose. It shows that this book, Enjoy Life Forever, is telling lies about your organization. It's claiming that your Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is neutral in warfare, and it's not. It's been involved in warfare regularly and politics for a century.
No. No Jehovah's servant today will tell you that they are involved or donating money to
You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me and you're not engaging with me.
We are talking about 1940. We are not in 1914 anymore.
All right, let's move on to today then. Today, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York gets share dividends from arms companies through the Henrietta M. Riley Trust. She was a woman who died in 1945. When she died, she was very wealthy. She bequeathed all her assets be turned into shares. It's run by the Commercial Bank of Detroit. It's called the Henrietta M. Riley Trust. It's autonomous, so nobody owns it. But after tax and the Commercial Bank taking their fees, in 2016, I have the accounts, just under $700,000 were paid to the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York from the portfolio of shares, which is called the Henrietta M. Riley Trust. Now, some of those investments are in arms companies such as Northrop Grumman, which makes the B-2 bomber, and Honeywell, which makes the HIMARS missile system. There's even a company that makes soft pornography called, I think it's Kingsway Entertainment. No, Lionsgate Entertainment. They make films, but some of those films are soft pornography. The Watchtower gets share dividends from that through the Henrietta M. Riley Trust. You can find out about this through the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service of New York, which is I'll go more slowly. You can find out about this through the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, which is the American tax authorities. And I've got the accounts for 9 years ago, and as of 9 years ago in 2016, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York got just under $700,000 from a portfolio of shares, including arms companies. So they're involved in getting money from arms companies today, sir. I mean, this is hypocrisy. They're not neutral in warfare.
No. Okay, if you would like to know the facts of this, then you have to call the branch office.
I have done that.
Yeah.
I've done that. I phoned.
What did they say?
Can I respond? I phoned Chelmsford. I spoke to the service desk, and then I phoned again. I phoned to the legal department. They both hung up on me because this book, Enjoy Life Forever, is telling lies about the history of your organization. It's been involved in warfare and politics for over a century. Did you know they even joined the United Nations in 1992? No. Lloyd Barry, your then governing body member, signed the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York into membership of the United Nations. He signed the paperwork in 1991. They were accepted into UN membership in 1992.
No. Our books then talks about the UN, the involvement of UN and what it does. So he was signing to do what with the UN?
What did your book say about the UN?
I said, what did he sign in to do? To be a member of the United Nations?
The Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York joined as an NGO, which is a non-governmental organization of the United Nations.
For what purpose?
Well,
what would the United Nations do for them? For what purpose?
I guess it gives them some sort of protection if your leaders travel abroad. When they get off the plane in a third world country, the leaders of that third world country are going to think twice about just arresting them as they get off a plane.
Right.
If they are members of the United Nations, it doesn't give them diplomatic immunity, but it gives them some sort of protection. They're going to think twice about arresting a prominent NGO of the United Nations or leaders of an NGO.
If that's no conflict in the Bible, and we use laws to protect ourselves. Apostle Paul in the Bible used laws, Roman law, to protect himself. So if we use laws to protect ourselves while preaching the good news, why not? They're not contributing anything. If that can protect them,
because it's hypocrisy.
News, that's what they will do.
Because it's hypocrisy. They claim that they're neutral in politics, but they join the United Nations. I have a letter from the United Nations on United Nations headed paper, which states that the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society joined the United Nations as an NGO.
And then the purpose is to protect them when they go all over the world to preach the kingdom good news. So that's the purpose, isn't it?
Why did they join the United Nations? Your literature in the 1980s, the big red revelation, its grand climax at Handbook, says the UN, United Nations, is one of the satanic beasts of the Book of Revelation. So why then did they join the UN?
I said if they use the law, Apostle Paul used the law of Roman law to protect himself from being in prison or for being treated properly when he was in another country. So if they use the law to do that, to favor them,
no. The Watchtower Bible and Tract Society in New York joined a political organization, the United Nations. Let me read the letter. It's from Paul Hoffiel on UN-headed paper.
Robert,
what are you frightened of?
If you already call a branch office and they explain things to you, and you are not satisfied.
They didn't. They were like you.
We just a Bible student, and we teach people a measure of understanding of the Bible to bring comfort for them, not to argue with them, and not to be having debates about it. Our message is go and preach kingdom good news, give people hope and comfort for the future, and many people embrace that. When I study the Bible, purely study the Bible, it gives me a principle, a counsel that I can live day-to-day life. That's all it is about. Nothing to make money. I don't make money from anybody. I just go from house to house and bring comfort to people. So I'm not into trying to make a debate and this book is wrong, that book is right. And
so what do you mean by debate? Don't make multiple points, just make one point. When you say you're not here to debate, are you saying you don't want to listen to my point of view? You only want to talk. You want to preach at me and you want me to shut up and say nothing.
No.
Right. Your book, Enjoy Life Forever, published 4 years ago in 2020. The book, can I make a point? Could you please allow me to speak? The book, Enjoy Life Forever, was published 4 years ago in 2021. And it contains numerous lies about the Watchtower Society. It is not a truthful book.
Don't read it.
It covers, it lies about your history, and it lies about what you teach in the past. Paul Hoffiel's letter, which I would like to read.
No. I'm not interested.
So you're not interested in facts?
No. I'm not interested. I told you.
What are you interested in? Just having blind faith in men?
Because you're never gonna. If the book is lie, don't read it. You have a choice. If the book is lie, don't read it. If I'm reading something I know that it will not be of any benefit to me, I won't read it. So don't go to the extensive level of reading, researching, and all, if it will not bring any benefit to you. Please. That's a waste of your time. Yeah? So please, let's leave it there. Yeah?
How about
I thought you wanted to discuss the Bible. I don't know, you wanted to question me about our warfare.
I made it very clear. And I gave you several days to prepare. I said lesson 13, paragraph 2, and I asked you to prepare. I know you don't prepare because you think everyone else. You think everyone else on earth is.
Robert.
I can't finish a sentence. You interrupt me before I finish a sentence.
No, Robert, I respect you, but it's like you call me this. I call you. I thought we were going to have a discussion in the Bible, a viewpoint about what wars, if wars will end or not, and all this the Bible says. But I didn't know that you're going to be arguing with me about your researches, and I don't have that time to do those things. So
you're a person who has, just make one point, so you're a person who has blind faith in what you're taught and you don't look critically at anything.
No. I'm not having any blind faith. I read the Bible on its own and to do good to my neighbor and then to love my neighbor, and that's what I continue to do.
How about...
a comforting word to share with you, I share with you, and that's it.
How about, and I'm looking at the Watchtower, 15th of July 1902, pages 215 to 216. And it talks about the greater intelligence of the Caucasian race, that's the white European people, over people from India and Africa who have a lower intelligence, according to the Watchtower. Let me read it. The secret of the greater intelligence and aptitude of the Caucasian, undoubtedly in great measure, is to be attributed to the commingling of blood among its various branches. And this was evidently forced in large measure by circumstances under divine control. So this is of God. It remains to be proven that similar commingling of the various tribes of the Chinese for several centuries would not equally brighten their intelligence, and the same with the people of India and Africa. Do you believe the Watchtower is right when it says that African people have a lower intelligence than white people?
No, I haven't read that. When they make this study, where is he quoting from? Is he a quote from maybe?
You don't listen. You don't listen. That's why you're so confident in your own beliefs. You don't listen to anyone else. I've given you the reference.
I am
Watchtower.
listening to you. When you are reading, I am listening to
Watchtower.
you. So that's what I'm...
Watchtower, 15th of July, 1902, pages 215 to 216. I mean, the Watchtower is riddled with all sorts of racism that claims that African people are the lesser than other people. I mean, it's terrible.
No. If it's a study that maybe an organization made and they quote it in the scripture, quote it in the Watchtower, fine. Then that's it. But yeah, so it's not. If it's a study, observation of a study that's made that some people have intelligence than other people and things like that, and they quote it in the Watchtower that this is what is said, fine. But it's not. We teach that all people are one, and if you see our books, that's the picture we portray, that all people are one. So there's no way that we portray that some are higher than some in intelligence. No. So I don't condone that, and I don't associate myself with that. Yeah, everybody is equal.
It says that education in the Watchtower, 15th of April 1900, page 122. It says that education is wasted on coloured people who cannot benefit from it. You should only give education to white people, but not to African people, because they can't benefit from any education. It says we are not able to determine to a certainty that the sons of Ham and Canaan are the Negroes, but we consider that the general view as probable as other. I need to find where it mentions education. Oh no, I'm looking at July. Sorry, it's the 15th of April. It's the 15th of April, 1900. I was reading from the July, 1902. So I was reading from the wrong one. Sorry. Let me see if I can.
Don't worry, Robert. Please. I think I don't have time for those researches and proving this right and proving this wrong. At the end, what do you get out of this? At the end, what do you get out of it?
I think the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society makes money. I think that is what they're dedicated to. I think they have no love for you, no love for me, no love to anyone else.
Okay.
It talks. It talks in the 1914 Watchtower of the coming millennial kingdom, where everyone. I mean, that last quote from the 1900 Watchtower, I don't actually have that. I was quoting from a third party in that. I don't actually have that scan. But I do have 1st of April 1914 Watchtower, page 105 to 106. And it talks about in the millennial kingdom, everyone's going to be white-skinned. There'll be no African people with dark skin in the millennial kingdom.
No.
A little while, and the millennial kingdom will be inaugurated, which will bring restitution.
Where are you reading that from? That's not our book. That's not
I've just given you the reference, man.
No.
Watchtower, 1st of April, 1914, page 106. A little while, and the millennial kingdom will be inaugurated, which will bring restitution to all mankind. Reinstitution of the perfection of mind and body and colour to the grand original standing, which God declared very good, and which was lost for a time through sin, but which is soon to be restored by the powerful kingdom of Messiah. So mind will be restored, body will be restored, and colour. Everyone's going to be white in the millennial kingdom. No black people. They're going to be changed into white-skinned people.
That's 1914.
Pardon?
That's what you read in the Watchtower 1914.
Yeah, that's the sort of crap that they were teaching then. Yeah.
Okay.
There is
we are not there now. We are not there. We move far away from there.
So you're quite happy.
Whereas other churches still stay in their opinion and follow other non-Bible teaching. We move far away when the light get brighter and the understanding. We move far away from there. Yeah, we base our studies purely on the Bible. So that is not the case. You come to our kingdom halls and you go to international conventions, you see brothers and sisters from Africa, from all over the world, mingling together, holding hands and hugging each other. So that's the love we share. And many of them are on our website. You can find. Even there are pictures from South Africa, white and black, hugging each other, working together. Outside the kingdom hall, it's not like that. So what we are reading is far from us. Okay? So we based our teaching on today, not 1914. Okay? If something happened in the past, and if they realize, when a man made a mistake and realized and turn away from it,
you don't address anything that I say. Anything that I say is as if I haven't even said it. You live in a world where you don't address. You're not.
If I commit a sin against you as your neighbor, will you forgive me? If I come to you and I say I'm sorry, will you forgive me?
I hope so. It would be the right thing to do.
Fine. So if I do it again and again and again, then you will not believe my asking for forgiveness. You will not believe me.
No, because exactly. that would be a habit, and that would be something that you would be taking advantage of me.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if Jehovah's people in 1914 have done something and realized that no, this is not the way to be going. This is what the Bible teaches. So we move far away from there. And then you call me today and you hammering on what has happened before. Not now.
I asked you to prepare. I said, and it's clear that you haven't done any preparation at all. You admitted you haven't even read the chapter.
No.
Let me give you
that chapter every day.
Let me give you one other tidbit, which is really quite interesting. The Golden Age is the old name for awake, and in the Golden Age, 24th of July, 1929, page 702, it states that Negroes, meaning African people, are a race of servants whom God cursed at the time of Noah's flood. Now that's in the Golden Age, 24th of July, 1929, page 702. How on earth can this be Jehovah's organization? This is nonsense.
When things, those days, and when we, as I said to you, we move far away from that. When the Figaro, they never stop studying the Bible.
Then why? No. They haven't moved far away from that. Apart from Samuel Hurd, the token black on the governing body, they're all white men. Why are there no Indians? Why are there no people from South America? Why are there no Chinese people? Why is there no Indian people? Apart from the token black Samuel Hurd, can't you see this is an organization worth about $80 billion apparently, and it's controlled by white men?
It worth about 18 billion.
Roughly, that's the estimate of all the Watchtower corporations. There's over 100 corporations.
No, Watchtower corporations. No.
Yeah.
Why
are the leadership apart? If you put Samuel Hurd to one side, who was elected for political correctness reasons, so they can say, look, we've got one African man on the governing body. Apart from him, they're all white.
No. There's no need for that. There's no need. Let's do a preach.
Black people, African people, African and Asian people are still second-class citizens in the Watchtower Society today. That's why they don't get to the very top, because the shareholders are probably white-skinned people.
Okay.
And it's the shareholders who hold the real power. Now, can you answer that Golden Age, 24th of July, 1929, page 702? Negroes are a race of servants whom God cursed at the time of Noah's flood.
You know, in the past, the white brothers couldn't go to the black area in the past. Even here in Britain. Sometimes black people will not go to white area. When you go to white area, if you don't wear a white shirt and all that. But we move far away from that. People study the Bible, become witnesses, and have different views. And down as time goes on, they study the Bible. They realize that this is not the way for them to be going, and they leave their past ways. If you still hold on to those views today, then you are not a true servant of Jehovah. Okay, where I meet in Wembley, it's all
Why do you
together.
think the website only has watchtowers going back to 1950? Apparently, they have all the watchtower literature on computer, every single piece of watchtower literature, including watchtowers going back to 1879. But they're not made available. Can I finish my sentence? They're not made available to the general public because of the scandalous nature of the material, because of the racism, because of the false prophecies. They don't want watchtower people to find out that they predicted that Armageddon was going to happen in 1914, and it didn't happen.
I will better belong to an organization who is making reform, who is changing according to the Bible teaching. Yeah, when they find out there is a mistake, they change. When they find out there's a mistake, they don't belong to someone who is hold on to their view because of haughtiness. And we don't do that. Yeah? So I'm glad to go and preach the kingdom good news, not to investigate about what happened in 1914. No, we move far away from that. Today in this country, even in the world, in this country, even when somebody does something and sent to prison for a certain year, they leave the person and give him a new place to live. So why not Jehovah's people, when they leave their old ways, why can't they be forgiven? Why would individuals have to hold them to account and going back 1914, 1928? No, we are not there anymore. Judge them on what is happening today.
Because the watchtower claims to be God's prophet. It's another one of their lies. They claim that they are a prophet, the only prophet on earth who represents Jehovah God. It is another lie. It's not true.
Okay. The Bible says Jehovah told us, it said, those murderers and thieves, and leave your old ways, attend to me.
Is the watchtower God's prophet?
Attend to Jehovah God, he accepts her. So, yeah.
Is the watchtower?
It's late now. It's late because I have to go to work tomorrow. So I don't think I'm ready for. I've given you enough time.
Yes, exactly. You're not ready. I told you to prepare, and no matter what we discuss, you're never prepared on anything. The watchtower claims that it is a prophet of God. That's the watchtower. 1st of April, 1972, page 197.
Yeah, because the watchtower preached the kingdom good news. Yeah, so that's why.
Yeah, the watchtower is a prophet that makes false prophecies, is involved in politics, is involved in warfare, teaches racism against black African people, and has made numerous prophecies for the end of the world which never happened. For instance, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was supposed to rise from the dead in 1925. That's in the book Millions Now Living Will Never Die on page 88. And they didn't rise from the dead, did they? Well, did they rise from the dead? No, they didn't. They didn't. Well, the watchtower claims that it is a prophet.
It's not our time, in Jehovah's time. Yeah, when they realize that it's not what we talk, when the scene of the world is changing, then Jesus said that when you see all these things happening, the end is yet to come. So when they make suggestions and they say that no, we are wrong. The time is not. We don't have the timetable. Jehovah who has a timetable.
A prophet who speaks in the name of Jehovah and gets the prophecy wrong is a false prophet, according to Deuteronomy, I think it's 18:20 to 22. Yeah? If a prophet presumes to speak in my name and they get it wrong, you are not to listen to them. Now, the watchtower claims that they are a prophet. Watchtower, 1st of April, 1972, page 197. Let me read the watchtower. Where do you get
my number, Robert? Where do you get my number?
From the jw.org website. This prophet was not one man, but was a body of men and women. It was the small group of footstep followers of Jesus Christ, known at that time as International Bible Students. Today they are known as Jehovah's Christian Witnesses. So the Jehovah's Witnesses are a prophet of God, according to the Watchtower, 1st of April 1972, page 197. And yet they're a prophet that gets their dates wrong. Armageddon didn't happen in 1914. They prophesied that in the 1890s. I think 1892 and 1894 watchtowers. I can't remember the exact references. And then in 1975, the world was supposed to end in 1975. That never happened.
You think that they are doing God's will? which church on earth now today you will tell me that they are doing gospel?
I don't need to look for a church or an organization.
No,
It's
I'm asking you a
individuals.
question. Yeah.
Christ came to save individuals, not to save an
Individuals,
organization.
Yes.
There's no organization.
That is why I tell you, when I read the Bible and I take it to go and comfort my neighbor, I get satisfaction from that. It's not about reading books or reading leaflets or something. Yeah, these ones we use to teach people. Yeah, so when I read, that's why we are encouraged to read Gospel, the Bible every day. So that's what I do. Reading Gospel, the Bible, and keeping abreast with the times we live in. That's all needed.
The Watchtower teaches that you have to go to the Watchtower Society for salvation, which is blasphemy. You go to Christ for salvation. Jesus said, Matthew 11:28, "Come unto me, all you who are heavily laden, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. All right, I'm repeating it because you don't pay attention. But the Watchtower says you must go to it for salvation. Watchtower, 15th of November, 1981, Watchtower, page 21, quote, "And while now the witness yet includes the invitation to come to Jehovah's organization for salvation." That's utter blasphemy. The Watchtower is a false organization. They've preached lies about Jehovah. They've made numerous prophecies about the end of the world which haven't happened. They teach racism, that black people are of lesser intelligence and a race of servants. All right? They teach that in the millennium all people are going to be of the same color, namely white. That's why in the books they're all white. They're all white. When you see them in the little house by the waterfall with the panda and the tigers, and the children are playing with the tiger cubs. Yeah. That's how they view the millennial kingdom.
So you used to be a Bible student, and now you're
Never been a Jehovah's Witness, no.
So why are you wasting your time and investigating and studying and doing all this? Why you don't do it for the Catholics? Why you don't do it for the Protestants? Why you interested in Jehovah's Witnesses?
Well, my fascination is with the doctrine of the Trinity. I used to be a oneness Pentecostal very briefly in the 1980s, and God saved me out of that evil religious cult. And I became a very firm Trinitarian in 1989, leaving the oneness Pentecostal movement behind. Oneness teaches the oneness doctrine, basically oneness teaches that God is one person called Jesus. So Jesus is the Father, Jesus is the Son, Jesus is the Holy Spirit. When Jesus is praying to the Father, that would be explained as the humanity of Jesus praying to the deity of Jesus. I left that. I became a Trinitarian in 1989, and I've been evangelizing non-Trinitarian sects ever since. That's my field of ministry. I speak to Christadelphians, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Iglesia Ni Cristo. They're probably the worst. My YouTube channel has been taken down from yesterday because Iglesia Ni Cristo made numerous copyright strikes against me, but they were false claims, so I'm sure the channel will come back. I discuss all this with all sorts of different groups, and I'm now branching out into speaking to Muslims. So I speak to Muslims now. I have over 450 discussions with Muslims. I don't just have a YouTube channel, which is currently suspended, but I'm sure I'll get it back. I've also got a Rumble channel and a BitChute channel where I just dialogue with religious people. What I find is that most religious people don't know what on earth they believe. They don't know their own belief. They don't know the Trinitarian position. They don't know the Bible. They just want to talk, just as you've been doing. You talk a lot, but you don't know what you're talking about because you've never actually looked critically at anything. And it's not just Jehovah. It's not just those groups. It's not just those groups I've mentioned, and it's not just Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons. I have found the same sort of attitude that, I'm in the truth. You can't question me. I found that repeatedly where I live in many evangelical type churches. They're just filled with people who've never examined anything critically. And very sadly, many of the leaders, pastors and elders, where I live in Plymouth, you can't dialogue with them on Christian doctrine because they just don't know it. It's just like speaking to a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon or a Christadelphian. You can't dialogue with them on the Trinity because they don't know it. They don't like the word Trinity. They don't know what it is. They can't make intelligent arguments against it. And unfortunately, when I've spoken to many people in evangelical churches, leaders, I don't waste my time with new converts. I'm talking to pastors or elders. I find that I can't talk to them about Christian doctrine such as the Trinity because they just don't know it. They don't want to discuss it because it's quite apparent that they stand up in church, they preach, blah, 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 blah. Nobody questions them. Nobody ever questions them. And so after 20, 30 years of doing that, many of these people become complacent. They've never been challenged. Anyone who goes into their church who does challenge them, they get them out the front door, threaten them with the police. That's happened to me. You know, if you don't leave, we will call the police. So I'm just asking you about the Bible. No, you are rebellious. You are... Well, so they've never been challenged. And you have this mentality in so many religions. And I'd say actually Islam is the worst. But you will find this in the so-called anti-Trinitarian groups like Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Iglesia Ni Cristo. You'll find it perhaps to a lesser extent amongst many evangelicals. Not all of them. There are some wonderful evangelical Christians. But there's a huge number of evangelicals who've never thought critically about their faith. And so you see the problem is that many people can't even dialogue about the Bible. They can't discuss it. All they can do is preach to you with you expected to shut up and listen, not answer them back, not ask them difficult questions, which is seen as rebellion or sin or something. And, you know, it's just producing an army of people who are just brainwashed robots who can't think for themselves. And that's the problem with so much religion today. For goodness sake, you know, if you believe something, right, let's sit down, let's discuss it. And, you know, if I joined a religion, I would want to know all about it right at the start.
You're not discussing anything with me. You argue with me. You're proving the point. I read this, I read that, I learned this. That's all you're doing with me. You're not discussing. It's not discussion.
Well,
you are accusing me that I haven't read this. I don't know anything for myself. I follow up and all that.
What I'm doing is I'm quoting your literature to back up what I'm saying as evidence of proof. So if you call
bestsellers already, and then they don't want to speak to you, it's the same manner that, you know, maybe the way you argue with them, that's why they're not, you know.
Why did you take it as a challenge? Why didn't you learn your religion better so actually know more about your religion? You know about the history of your religion.
All I need to know is what Jesus said, that we should love our neighbors yourself. So that's all and talk about the kingdom. So that's what I do. Talk about the kingdom and bring a little bit of comfort to my neighbors. Right,
but hold on. There is a group from South Korea, Sunjonji. Their leader, Mr. Lee, claims that he is the faithful and discreet slave appointed by God in 1966. So as you are a person who wants to love people and you don't want to argue with people, surely you'd agree with him. If you meet someone from Sunjonji and they say the watchtower governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses are not the real faithful and discreet slave, they're actually a false faithful and discreet slave. The real faithful and discreet slave is our leader, Mr. Lee, the head of Sunjonji, appointed in 1966 by the Holy Spirit. Because you're such a loving person, are you going to agree with them immediately?
No.
Well, why not? Why don't you agree with them immediately? You seem to define love as just agreeing with people. And you seem to think that people who actually study and research and know what they're talking about and can quote material to back up their claims are sort of unloving. Although I don't find that in the Bible. I don't think your faith is based on the Bible at all. I think your faith is based on what the Watchtower tells you.
No. Watchtower is written from the Bible. That's why I quote Bible quotations in every paragraph. That's to prove what they've written.
Then why does the Watchtower teachings change over the years? They've had many different positions as to who the faithful and discreet slave are. It keeps changing all the time. Originally, the Watchtower magazine was the faithful and discreet slave, and the very first Watchtower, July 1879, page 3. Then it became one individual He didn't say who that individual was, but of course the hint was it was our leader, Pastor Russell, but they just say one individual. I should actually have quoted, it wasn't called the Watchtower then, it was called Zion's Watchtower. Zion's Watchtower, 1st of March, 1896, page 47, says it's one individual. Then after his death, in the Finnish Mystery, on the first edition of the Finnish Mystery, Studies in the Scripture, volume 7, page 5 and page 418, they state that Pastor Russell was the faithful and discreet slave. That's also in various watchtowers, such as 1st of December 1916 Watchtower, page 356. Then it's not Pastor Russell in the Watchtower, 15th of February 1927, page 56. Instead, the previous page 55, says it's Jesus Christ together with the entire body of Christ, which would be every Jehovah's Witness. Then it's a remnant led by a theocratic organisation, whatever that means, probably a reference to the anointed Jehovah's Witnesses. Watchtower, 15th of December 1951, page 749. Then it's all of the anointed. Watchtower, this would be the same thing, all of the anointed. Watchtower, 1st of March 1981, page 24. Then it changes in 2009 to the governing body together with the anointed. In the Watchtower, 15th of June 2009, page 24. And then finally, the current position is it's the governing body alone. So it's not governing body and anointed Jehovah's Witnesses as it used to be. It's governing body alone, Watchtower, 15th of July 2013, page 22. They're forever changing their beliefs. Why should I believe them? They don't know what they believe. Yeah, I can go to a number of different beliefs. I can go to the Mormons. I can go to some extreme Pentecostal groups. I can go to St. John G, Iglesia Ni Cristo. And you have many people who talk to me with total certainty that their religion is the truth. We are the true representatives of God, Yahweh or Jehovah on earth today. But when you ask them questions about their religion, they don't know the first thing at all about their religion. Well, if they want to criticize my belief in the Trinity, they don't know what the Trinity is. They condemn it in total ignorance. And then, when you open the Bible, they don't know the first thing at all about the Bible. Why do I need to listen to people who don't know what they're talking about? Yeah. All of this is just positive thinking, being totally certain that you're right. And these people are often, a lot of extreme religious people are always certain that they're right because they don't allow themselves to be challenged. They don't allow people to come along and ask them questions. So many Jehovah's Witnesses know that they're right. They know that their religion is right because they're trained that if anyone asks difficult questions, you get up and you leave the house and you say, I've got another meeting to go to. Or in a phone call like this, and I give you credit that you haven't hung up, but I've spoken to thousands of Jehovah's Witnesses on the telephone. I think my calls over the last 10 years would now be over 3,200 telephone calls with Jehovah's Witnesses.
300?
It's over 3,000. I've done virtually every congregation in the UK.
Okay.
I have almost certainly done 95% of all the Kingdom Halls in the UK. I've done many of the congregations, as I say, 3,200 plus telephone calls, mostly to Jehovah's Witnesses in the UK. I get the numbers from jw.org. You go there to find a meeting and you can find the congregations and the contact number.
Okay.
But
so
these people...
What this is doing to you?
Pardon?
What is it doing to you?
Well, it's my little ministry. Jesus told us to go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature.
Yeah,
Matthew 28, 19 and 20.
Come out and do it from house to house. That's the motto that he said.
Show me that in the Bible.
Yeah, go therefore and make disciples. Go.
That's the verse I've just... Yeah, that's the verse I've just quoted to you. It doesn't say go from house to house. You see, you have a habit of saying things, but you never back up anything that you're saying. With respect, sir, it's difficult, sir. It's difficult talking to you because you make statements, but you don't back anything up. You don't give any kind of proof or evidence to support what you're saying. And Jesus said, don't go from house to house. Jesus said, don't go from house to house in Luke 10:7. Let's read it. He's sending out the 70 in Luke 10 and remain in the same house, eating and drinking such things as they give, for the labourer is not worthy of his wage. Do not go from house to house. So what happens is people who were receptive to the message would give these preachers a bed for the night and would feed them. That's the context from going house to house. Yes? And then within the house they would speak to other people who were receptive to the message. But it does say, although the context would be the 70, don't go from house to house, Luke 10:7. We don't find people going around and knocking on doors in the Bible, because it would be against Jewish culture. You see, the men went out to work and the women stayed at home. Now, other women would come and visit a woman, but if you had two men in suits and ties knocking on the door of a house when the man was out working and the woman was in the house alone, Jewish culture at the time would see that as, well, it's probably there for prostitution. It would be scandalous. So in Jewish culture, they didn't do that. In Jewish culture, you didn't knock on people. You didn't knock on hundreds of doors a day because if you were seen doing that, you would be seen looking for a prostitute in Jewish culture. So men tended to evangelize men. Men would preach and speak and debate religion. Usually at the entrance to a town, there would be some sort of marketplace or market square where the men could sit in the evening and talk religion. Women tended to talk in the homes, but it was frowned upon for a single woman or a married woman to have strange men knocking on the door and trying to get into the house, because that would be seen as prostitution. It would be scandalous.
Okay, I hear you. There are many forms of ministry: street witnessing, bus witnessing, train witnessing, everywhere. So if one door is locked, another door will be open. Robert, please, I don't. You've got a lot of followers. I don't want to break, advise you wrongly, but I think the time and energy that you are putting in it, you not end anyway.
I'm not what? I'm not
the
what?
The time and energy you put it in this.
Yes.
Making all these phone calls and things, you will not end you anywhere. So
I will not go any. What do you mean? I won't go anywhere? What do you mean?
I said it will not end you anywhere. Because
I'm not looking for my own benefit. I have a YouTube channel with thousands of videos of my recordings where I speak to people. I don't monetize the channel. I never ask for money. I'm not after any money for myself. My aim is to challenge people, usually non-Trinitarian groups, right? And I challenge them on their beliefs. I use their literature against them.
Can we end it here, please?
Well, it was my turn to speak. You must let me finish the sentence.
No. I listen to you when you speak all along. For about 5 minutes, I'll not be talking. So let's leave it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.